This is a 2026 Honda TrailSport CR-V, and it's the first time they've done it to the CR-V. Now there's a Pilot and a Passport TrailSport and the CR-V TrailSport. So we didn't go off-roading or anything with these fancy all-terrain tires, but we did adventure stuff, and that's what Honda wants. So we went kayaking in Montreal, so 1,000-ish kilometers, and we're going to talk about what it's like to drive on a longer road trip, because we all know what it's going to be like to drive in this city, because, well, CR-V hybrids are pretty good.
You may be wondering also why we're standing outside the car when we're usually inside the car. If you've watched any of our videos before, you know that that thing gets very loud on the highway, so we thought we'd spare you this time and actually stand outside the car and let you look at it, and we'll show you some other shots while we tell you about it. So here in the Honda CR-V TrailSport, you're looking at 6.7 liters per 100 kilometers combined, 6.4 in the other CR-V hybrid models. So we're closer to 7.7 right now, and that's mainly because we've mostly been doing highway driving, so actually it's not a bad number.
The big culprit here, even without a kayak, are going to be the all-terrain tires as opposed to the regular summer tires, but even still going from 6.4 to 6.7 really isn't all that bad. And let's get into what actually makes a TrailSport compared to the non-TrailSport.
Off the top, Jay mentioned that we have those all-terrain tires. They are 18 inches and they're Continental cross contacts. On top of that, we have the ash green metallic paint job here, which is exclusive to the TrailSport. There's the badging on the grille and the tailgate, the silver skid garnish, black door handles and spoiler, and TrailSport embroidered on the front headrest and repeated on the floor mats, plus some amber ambient lighting. So take all that, and the end result is it's really mostly an appearance package, which is fine, because in this class of vehicle, nobody's going overlanding, right? It's more of a lifestyle, how you want the world to perceive you kind of thing.
And it's not just a TrailSport thing for Honda. So with the RAV4 Woodland, same thing with the Tucson XRT, which is related to the Sportage X-Line. I'm not going to count the Crosstrek Wilderness or the Forester Wilderness, for that matter, depending on how you classify them, because, well, they're pretty good as far as the off-roading stuff goes. But it's very similar to the other stuff, and it's not going to give you any big competitive advantage. Like, yeah, the tires are nice and you'll feel a bit of a difference, mostly audibly, and cottage driveways and maybe sand or dirt or gravel or whatever. Maybe if you go to Manitoba like we did, stay tuned for more on that. It's the right move for Honda, and there's some pretty impressive numbers for the TrailSport. The hybrid CR-Vs make up nearly 70% of all CR-V sales, so it made sense that they made the TrailSport into a hybrid instead of a gasoline trim. And hybrids account for 42% of all Honda sales. See the first point for a little more strength on this one. TrailSport models cover 30% of sales for the Passport, Pilot, and Ridgeline combined. I think Honda's done everything right as far as making this hybrid trim into the TrailSport trim.
More importantly, the TrailSport, being a hybrid, brings more hybrid trims into the lineup. In 2025, there are only 2 CR-V hybrid trims available. For 2026, which this is, we will have 4 here in Canada. So greater selection. Still on the pricier side.
All actually all Hondas are a couple of thousand-ish on average pricier. It's just the Honda thing, and that's fine, because the reliability for Honda can counteract that. Or if you're a Honda family or you're loyal to the Honda brand for whatever reason, then you don't mind spitting out a few extra bucks per month over a lease or a finance term.
And to go over that pricing range for the hybrids in Canada, we're looking at the entry level being the Sport for 2026, which is priced at $45,900. That's more reasonable than the CR-V has been over the last few years since it launched here in Canada, so that's nice to see. The Touring Hybrid tops out at $51,200, still on the higher side, especially compared to the competition, but if you want a fully loaded CR-V hybrid, then that's probably what you want, and you're going to pay it. For this, the TrailSport Hybrid, you're looking at $47,300.
And all those figures are Canadian MSRPs. Honda's been slightly poked at by us when the first hybrid came out, And we're like, well, why are you making it a touring and it's the most expensive trim? And that was only a couple of years ago. But like Steph said a couple of minutes ago, now they've, well, quadrupled it from day one and doubled it from the 2025 model year. So I think Honda's going slow but smart and strategic as far as their electrification options go. And given some of the uncertainty with the full EV world, which we're not going to get into now, but the hybrids and plug-in hybrids are kind of the way to go.
I'll give you something that looks like a downside, but surprisingly isn't, and something that looks like an upside that surprisingly isn't.
Is it opposite?
Right. So the 8-inch screen that's on this is the smaller of the two available in the CR-V. I actually kind of like it. It looks small compared to what a lot of the competition is offering. It's not unusual at the top of this class to get 12.3-inch double screens in a big, fancy-looking glass panel.
So like 24 inches overall. It's
right.
just wild.
But in this, I have short little arms, and I can actually reach the entire screen when I'm driving. So that's actually a huge benefit, something I appreciate. Sometimes flashier is not better. On the flip side of that, I think I find it a little unreasonable to pay $47,300 for a car like this and get fabric seats.
Speaking of seats, tell you something I don't like. So we split the driving and there is no height adjuster on the passenger seat. It's a small thing and it's only a 5-hour drive one way from Toronto to Montreal. So not cross country, not 10, 12, multiple days. I didn't mind it, but I think if I was doing something longer, it's just a little uncomfortable. I feel really low down, and it's just me specifically. There may be somebody out there who does want a height adjuster for the passenger seat.
Again, at $47,000, it feels like something that should maybe be in there. Ventilated front seats not offered at all on the CR-V.
I don't mind the way it looks. The interior is function first. Everything's within reach. You get wireless charging, you get wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. Shout out for changing gears of me, how unsurprising. One thing I like that you might not is that there's a single panel sunroof as opposed to a full panoramic one. I like it because with a single panel sunroof, I can put the kayak on much easier. No single part of the kayak is touching the glass, which makes a big difference.
Under the hood here in all current generation Honda CR-V hybrids, we have a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with a 2-motor hybrid system generating 204 horsepower and 247 pound-feet of torque. In Canada, we have standard all-wheel drive, and it gets put to the ground through an eCVT. As much as we talk about the fact that the CR-V hybrid is expensive for the class, and we'll get to that in a minute, it is important also to point out that the hybrid system in this car is actually very sophisticated for the class and the price of the vehicle. You have different regenerative braking levels that you can adjust through paddles on the steering wheel. That is unusual, especially for a standard hybrid. It's very common in a plug-in hybrid where you're paying a lot more, but the ability to adjust your braking level to be firmer or less firm based on what's comfortable for you and how much you want to regenerate while you're driving, that's an unusual amount of control. So it's really, that's something that could be a differentiator for a lot of people.
There's a small little thing that I don't think many people will care about, but you will when you go to fill in your washer fluid. It's a hydraulic hood. None of that silly stick nonsense. And I don't know, just a small thing, and it really helped when I was putting the ties into the hood. So good job, Honda.
The washer jets are built into the wipers here in this as well. So lots of small little details in the CR-V that make life a lot easier. It's also more effective.
Is it like a $4,000 or $5,000 more effective between the hydraulic hood and the other things? Apparently so, because people keep buying the CR-V hybrid, and Honda wouldn't quadruple the number of trims with it if people didn't want them. And just back to those stats again, with a ton of CR-V purchases being the hybrid. So I guess it is worth it overall. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think it's worth the little extra premium in price to get, again, their 2-motor hybrid system and all the other things we mentioned? Or do you think Honda's out to lunch and they're like, well, that price should come down by a couple thousand?
Thanks so much for watching, and if you haven't already, please hit that button down there that lets you subscribe so you don't miss any more videos, because we want you to see them and comment on them and let us know what you think. You can also find us on all the major social media platforms, so please reach out, and thanks for watching.
And I should have worn my sunglasses because my left eye was squinty for most of this video, and that's okay.